Hello everyone, I'm Skratch, welcome to the channel. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. We got the Ice Golem tournament going hand in hand with the fusion, so I thought what better time to do a guide on the Ice Golem hard mode stage 10. Now I didn't really have a chance to do it because you know what? I didn't really have a desire to farm the Ice Golem whatsoever. Recently they buffed a couple of sets that come from the Ice Golem, so now the Ice Golem is actually a fairly decent place to farm gear. The only difference is that, again, you're not earning as much silver from there like you would earn from the Dragon, from the Fire Knight, or from the Spider, because those gear sets from the Ice Golem, they do sell for less silver. So, all around, not many people, they want to farm the dungeon. But you know what? We have this tournament on, so people will have to do it regardless, at least to reach the milestones, get a rare champion, maybe get an epic skill tomes, and yeah, why not? Let's do it. Now, there are a couple of things that I do want to mention about this boss, and it's different compared to the others. Basically, similar with the Iron Twins Fortress, when you are dropping his HP to a specific point, he's gonna activate that secret skill or passive, basically, you know, and when that happens and both of the minions are alive, this boss will ignore defense, will deal tons and tons of damage, will be just crazy. And a few other things that change with this boss is that he's immune to poisons, HP burn deals 10% extra damage, and HP burn actually destroys the HP on the minions. So that's going to be pretty interesting. You see right here, HP drops below 80, 60, 45, 30, and 15%. Now, the main thing that you want to avoid is to bring in hard hitters. If you have hard hitters on here and they're going on the boss, you're gonna trigger this passive, and oh my god, he hits so freaking hard, it's just crazy. Then, another thing you want to keep in mind is that you don't really want to have War Master on your champions because that has a chance to trigger it. So let's just say you're at 81% HP on the boss, you use the skill, you trigger it with the War Master, he's gonna proc this passive and is dealing a lot of damage. So many things like this come in play. Now, this boss actually removes his debuffs as well. And this is an active skill on a 4-turn cooldown. So every 4 turns, the boss will actually cleanse, will decrease your turn meter, will drop decrease accuracy on you. And the boss's speed on stage 10 hard mode is 240 speed, guys. You're gonna need roughly around 320 plus accuracy in order to don't get resisted on this boss, and you're gonna need roughly 400 plus resistance in order to resist the boss and the minions. Now you see, immune to poison and poison sensitivity, gets more damage from HP burn, immune to all the rest of the things, and the one thing that you kind of want to avoid here is to bring enemy max HP hitters, because that again will trigger the passive and the boss deals a lot of damage. Now I'm using this team, so I have a Artek, I have a Theodore, I have Seer and Renegade to help me clear the waves. We have Wither the Crowned. The reason why I'm using Renegade is because my Kymar that I was using in here actually got rebuilt a few days ago for the new dungeon, for the Shogun's the Shogun dungeon. So I cannot use him anymore. And the other one is not on shield and it's too fast, so it's not really gonna be good for what we're trying to do on here. Now, of course, my Artek and Theodore are both being used in the Spider dungeon, so I cannot play around with their builds. I need them to be on this specific build, specific speed, so it's gonna be very important for my account because I'm using them in multiple areas. Now, if you just want to build your champions for this particular dungeon because you have plenty of copies or you don't really bother with other dungeons, or you might have different teams for it, you can completely change their stats. Like, you can even lower their speeds, not a problem. Basically, let me show you the preset on my team. So Wither the Crowned opens with defense up just to give more buffs to Seer. Then here again, she's not going to use the A3. We're going to keep that available for when we get at the boss, you know, just to have it available just in case. We're going to open again. We're going to open with the A1, then we're going to do the A2 when we have it available. And on round 3, we're going to open with the A1, just so we allow the boss to take a turn and then to use the skills, basically. Then we have Artek. So Artek, he's going to open with the A3, or he can open with the A1. If he opens with the A3, he's going to deal a bit of more damage on the mobs to help Seer to kill them. Round 2, only A1. Round 3 opens with A3. Then of course we have Seer, opens with a A3, opens with the A2, moves to the A3 once Renegade resets, and right here she's not allowed to use Karma Burn because that can cost us a lot. And anyway, she's dying usually from the very first hit, so we don't really have to worry about it. Then we have Theodore. He's actually opening with the A2, again to give more buffs to Seer, to allow her to obliterate the waves. On round 2, the same thing, he's not using the A3. And on round 3, he is opening with the A3. You see he's a bit slower than Artek, so Artek will end the HP burn. Theodore is gonna go in and increase it. And then of course we have Renegade, who's on a shield set, and right here she's gonna use the A2 if any enemies are left alive after Seer nukes. And right here she's gonna use the A3, and here she's gonna do whatever. She's usually dead anyway. She is built for damage, how you guys can see, so she doesn't have any survivability whatsoever. And this extra damage will actually help us to kill the mobs if any of them are still alive. I don't have a defense down or a weakened champion in this team to help Seer with the nuke, so having a crazy build on her is kind of like a necessity. So it's pretty end game sort of stuff to build your Seer like this on Savage, to have a crit damage set. I do have a Crushing Rend on her, but it's only a 4-star, so it's not really impactful, honestly. It does help a little bit, but nothing too crazy. Let's jump into it and kind of like have a look. I do have some resistance on the champions because it's needed. And I'm using Theodore in the Dragon as well. Spider, how I mentioned. So for the Dragon, I need him to have the resistance. Very, very important. So I gotta make use of these champions in all these dungeons. And the problem with the Ice Golem is that you really don't wanna have War Master. And guess what? I do have War Master because I need it for the Spider. I need it for the other content, you know. So you've seen the boss just smacked my other champions into the ground, which is fine, not a problem whatsoever. And slowly, we're just draining down the HP on the boss, you know. As long as we're not triggering the passive with a War Master proc, which it can happen, I guess. I would assume, I haven't seen the team failing, but I would assume it's definitely a possibility to fail if the RNG is bad and the War Master procs at the wrong moment. Now, it's probably a very small chance for it to happen, but there is a chance, you know? So because of it, I'm not really stressing too much, you know? Like, I don't want to change my masteries just when I'm doing Ice Golem, then change them again when I'm going to the Spider or when I'm going to the Dragon, because that's just madness, you know? So I'll rather have this team fail 1 in 100 or even 2 in 100 than change masteries all the time, or then not having War Master on them and underperforming in the other 2 dungeons, which are more important in my opinion. So there we go. You see, it's kind of like 1 minute and a bit, 1 minute and 36. Seems like we just hit our best time. But let's quickly do another run, guys. Then I'm gonna show you the builds and the masteries on all the team. And yeah, I would suggest you not to get War Master. But then again, if you're like me and you're gonna use this champion somewhere else, you're gonna be like, yeah, I kind of wanna have that War Master to make my Dragon a bit faster, to make my Spider a bit faster and more efficient. If you don't have Seer, it's definitely not as enjoyable to do this dungeon, or most of the dungeons actually, because she's just so good to kill the waves. But you can use Calvalexes if you want with Xavia, with Elenaril. The only problem that you're gonna encounter there is that it might be a bit harder to keep your team alive once you're gonna get at the boss, you know. I have a feeling that it's gonna be harder, and my gear is not ascended on the champions, guys, so I could get better stats on them, honestly. But I feel like for the moment they're fine. They're fine like this, you know. The reason why I like Artek over a different champion in here is because he brings the decrease attack to and detonates the HP burn, puts the HP burn, and has a chance to increase the HP burn, right? So he does a lot of things. I do like to have Wither the Crowned in here because she has massive heals. If I need a cleanse, she's gonna bring in the cleanse, right? I do have the resistance aura from the champion. She does have slow animation, so I feel like that's one of her cons, you know. But it's definitely not too bad, and I do need to have a strong heal just to help Artek to stay alive. Probably you've seen that I'm restoring the destroyed HP and I'm not doing it through a blessing, right? I'm doing it through a gear set. So I'm gonna show you all that in just a second because we just finished the run right here. So that was 1 minute and 50 seconds. Sometimes we might just land the HP burn and the boss will have the A2 available and cleanse before Theodore goes or even after Theodore goes. And what's gonna happen is that that's gonna delay us a bit in the fight, you know? So we got a piece of reflex, attack, crit damage. We're gonna keep that. It might be good on a cold heart. So this is my Theodore. How I mentioned, I am using him on the spider dungeon, on the dragon dungeon. I have him built on a regeneration because that's what I need on him on the dragon. And total stats, I have almost 80k HP, 3.1k defense, 254 speed, 445 resistance, 303 accuracy. Now, usually, I'm running him with the accuracy lead on the dragon, so his accuracy is a bit low on this dungeon right here, okay? I would probably try to push 20 more accuracy on him, but I do have the masteries, which will give me more accuracy. So what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna show you the masteries that I have, and I'm gonna show you the masteries that I would suggest you to put on this team to ensure that this team will never fail on the Ice Golem, will be 100%, because how I mentioned, mine, it does have a very, very small chance to fail, and that's mainly because of the War Master. But I refuse to change that, right? I prefer to have 1 or 2 losses in 100 runs and keep my War Master. So I'm gonna show you the exact masteries you wanna get on your Theodore and even on Artek. Now, if you have enough resistance from the build and you're struggling with accuracy, as tier 6, you can always use Eagle Eye instead and gain 50 accuracy over it. If you have enough of everything, you can always go and get, I don't know, either more HP, which I feel like the value of 3000 HP is nowhere close to the value of 50 resistance or 50 accuracy, okay? So keep that in mind as well. For Theodore, you can go with Lasting Gifts instead of Spirit Haste if you want. And yeah, this would be kind of like the main thing that you would want to get. You can drop Shadow Heal and go for Arcane Celerity. But if you want Artek to always be in front of Theodore and stuff like this, and you want to make sure that the Thermitter doesn't messes anything up in your rotation, you can go with something else instead, you know, and you're going to be just fine. But these are the masteries that I would suggest you for Theodore and Artek to ensure that your run will never fail. So this is my Artek. He's built on a double perception and an immortal set. This is the build in terms of stats: 84k HP, 3.6k defense, 256 speed, 361 resistance, 335 accuracy. You see, my resistance here is much lower than I have it on a Theodore, for example. So because of it, I have slightly better defense, I have slightly better HP, slightly better accuracy, and of course I have perception. I don't have a regeneration set, so that makes a big, big difference. Masteries, this is what I have on him, but how I mentioned, I would probably suggest you to don't take War Master unless you run him in the Spider and you really need him there as well. I would probably go here with Unshakable to get more resistance, how you've seen it on the other screen. Then we have Wither the Crown. So the tip with Wither the Crown is having a curing set. Basically, this got buffed as well, right? So 20% bonus heal also restores the amount of destroyed HP equal to bonus healing. If you don't restore the HP on Artek, he has a very high chance of dying on the Ice Golem. Okay, he's just not gonna be back on duty to restore the HP and stuff like that. So he does have a chance of dying. So I would suggest you to use Curing. It's definitely helping a lot. If you have a Defiant, it's amazing to get 15% less damage to ensure that she's gonna be spot on and constantly able to cleanse and heal the rest of the team. Total stats: 94k HP, 3.5k defense, 258 speed. So she's the fastest in the team. 355 resistance. With the aura, I have 455. Masteries, we have defense and support 3. Now, I chose to go with timely intervention just to get more Thermitter, allowing her to rotate a bit faster. If you're struggling with the resistance, definitely go over and take Unshakable instead. Now, she heals a lot, man. And then she has this increased defense, removes all debuffs, then heals all allies by 30% of this champion's max HP. So basically, she's gonna heal for 30k plus when she heals. That's why she's so freaking amazing, you know. And moving over to Seer. This is my Seer, Savage and crit damage. I don't have the ring to ensure that she's gonna get smacked. And 42k HP, 2.7k attack, 2.2k defense, 205 speed, 100% crit rate, 348 crit damage, 260 accuracy. And masteries, I have offense and support 3. Tier 6, I have War Master. Now, if you're not able to get so much crit damage, don't go for War Master. Go and get Flawless Execution instead and gain 20% more crit damage on your Seer, because you want to have consistency. Seer is going to die at the boss. You're not using Seer anymore on the Fire Knight, for example, because she's not really good there anymore. So you don't really care about having War Master on her. You're not using her on other bosses, maybe, you know. So again, War Master is not as important as it used to be on Seer. So you can definitely go for Flawless Execution. I might actually do that and ensure that I'm always gonna one-shot the first wave regardless, you know. So sometimes it stays alive, one champion with this much HP. If I'm gonna change to this, it's gonna be dead mid, basically. And of course, we have Renegade, the last champion, Shield and Perception. Total stats, 38k HP, 3.5k attack, 198 speed, 98 crit rate. Not what I like, but I'm not gonna stress about it too much. 273 crit damage, 325 accuracy, and masteries, offense, support, War Master as tier 6. That was all for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you found it helpful. Let me know in the comments down below, what team are you using for the Ice Golem on a hard mode? How you're finding the dungeon? You think it's worth it to farm this dungeon a bit more now that they buffed some of these sets? Appreciate every single one of you guys watching. Much love, and I'll catch you all soon in the next video. Peace.